Joining me now is Paul Larpena. He is Managing Director at Strickland Metals. Great to see you.
Thanks, Mark.
So a lot of developments with the company the last while, selling the Yandal Gold project. So the main focus is on Rogozna in Serbia. So can you bring us up to speed?
Yeah, so the Yandel project had been in Strickland for many years, and it was Strickland's foundation asset. And it was an asset that, the WA market really loves. And so when Strickland bought Rogozna a bit over a year ago, we thought both of these assets could, complement each other. But as we saw over sort of a 6-month period, we got a lot of feedback from particularly institutional investors that, these assets, they're two very different assets. One is sort of high-grade gold in Western Australia next to Northern Star. The other one is giant porphyry-related deposits in Serbia. And they really are suited to different investors. So we took that feedback on board. We ran a bit of a soft process from sort of late last year through to sort of April or so this year to test the market, to see what interest there was in the Yandel. And we got a couple of offers, but certainly one that we felt was the most compelling was the one with Gateway. And why that was compelling was it wasn't necessarily a monetary value perspective. It was more the case that we knew our shareholders loved that asset, and the WA market in general love that asset. You don't get many projects in WA where you got 400,000 ounces of gold at surface, trucking distance to a mill. So for good reason, that asset was really strongly loved. And we thought with the Gateway deal, that would allow us to give the majority of those shares to our shareholders and reward them for their support over the longer run. So it was hugely popular with our shareholders. And as we can see, since the deal closed only about 2 weeks ago, Gateway's basically doubled in value now. Gateway's now got a market cap of 100 million. So that has really justified that decision that we made at Strickland to do the deal with Gateway, give the majority of those shares to our shareholders. We've kept about 15% of Gateway, and that value of our shares in Gateway at the moment is now already about 17 million.
Nice.
So really, I think it's justified that call.
That's what they call a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win for
that
everyone.
Kind of a deal. So Rogozna, you've got a 60,000 meter drilling program, multiple drills turning. You've already got an estimated 7.4 million ounces, and I'm sure you think it can get a lot bigger. And you've made multiple intercepts as well, especially a big one at Kotlovi. So can you elaborate on some of the work being done?
Yeah, so we've got 8 rigs on ground at the moment, which is a lot. It's the most ever on this project. So this project's got a bit of a history. Used to belong to Eldorado Gold back in sort of 2017 through to 19. But most previous explorers have just generally chipped away. What we're doing there right now is totally transforming the project. We've got 8 rigs, as I said. Last year, we only had 4 rigs. So we've doubled the amount of work we're doing. We've doubled the workforce. We've got 60-odd full-time Serbian employees. We've got over 100 people when you include all the contractors. Our drilling is really focused on a couple of things. Growing that resource, you're absolutely right. We've got 7.4 million ounces gold equivalent now, but we see that potential blue sky over 10 million ounces. And we're really focused on making more discoveries. This is a porphyry-related system. There's multiple deposits. We've got 4 well-advanced deposits already. We made a new discovery at Kotlovi late last year. As you said, we put out some really good results on that recently, almost 300 metres of continuous mineralisation, including a nice 100-plus metre zone of gold-only mineralisation. So we're kicking a lot of goals on a number of fronts, and we expect by about late November we'll be doing a resource update, and that'll bring in Gradina, which is a gold-only deposit, and that one doesn't currently have a resource. So we're hopeful that'll be a meaningful upgrade, and then that leads us into our scoping studies, which we're aiming to deliver by sort of April, May next year.
Very good. Now, I understand that the team really believes that Rogozna could become a really big mining complex, and there may be connectivity between the deposits. Is that correct? Can you expand on that?
Yes, certainly in a lot of the data sets, geochemistry, geophysics, at some scale, a lot of these deposits do connect. They are connected. It doesn't necessarily mean at economic mineralisation that connects them, but certainly they are connected in a broader sense from a mineral systems perspective. And one of the things we're doing at the moment is actually expanding our exploration away from the existing deposits into sort of more of the central part of the project area, where a lot of the work we've done suggests there's some real potential for a giant porphyry deposit, which when you've got this scale system of skarn mineralisation, there's often a giant porphyry lurking somewhere nearby. Yeah, that's the case at Grassberg with Ertsberg, Bingham Canyon in Utah, where you've got the skarn deposits, and somewhere fairly close, there's generally a porphyry driving this whole thing. So we're putting a lot of effort in now to hunting for that potential porphyry.
And lastly here, Paul, we know that gold companies are in a much better environment right now. And last I looked, the company's stock was up something like 275% the last 5 years. So would you say that the market is fully understanding the story, or is there still some education and awareness to be gained in order for them to fully understand it?
Well, I sort of look at a sort of shorter term view, probably just the last 12 months, and we're kind of, from the beginning of this year to now, we're up a bit over 100%. But, so is most of the gold market, right? Importantly for us, it's not just the gold price that's driving it. We've had a couple of key catalysts. We increased resources by 2 million ounces in sort of March this year. A key driver for us was Zijin Mining doing a strategic placement in April this year.
$5 million.
For $5 million. Yeah. That was really important because it validated the story, particularly on the Australian market. Australian investors don't necessarily have a great understanding of sort of porphyry-related projects. I know in Canada and North America, there is a greater appreciation because a lot of Canadian companies have them, whether that be in Canada, US, or South America. So there was a big education piece. So Zijin Mining coming in and investing in us, remembering that Zijin are also the most active miner in Serbia. So that was a real validation of the project, which was really important and resonated well with investors. And the other thing is, it gave an endorsement of Serbia as well, because not a lot of Australian companies have been operating in Serbia. So again, Australian investors, a few question marks there. So really that endorsement by Zijin was a key catalyst, and now we're on a really nice trajectory with our share price. We see a lot of room for continued growth through the drill bit. And as we start growing this resource north of 10 million ounces, start de-risking the project with the feasibility studies and really trying to get on that same path that Adriatic went along before they got taken out by Dundee, I think there's plenty of room to grow here in terms of the valuation.
Is that the ultimate end game to get taken out?
Yeah, so, well, not necessarily. We're doing everything we can in Serbia to see this project get developed. And that's the course that we're on. Now, if along the way we do get taken out, and it's for the benefit of everyone, happy days, but otherwise we're fully committed to seeing this project get developed.
Right, excellent. So dual track process, and off you go. Good luck with everything.
No worries, thanks, Mark.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Paul Lerpenier, he is the Managing Director over at Strickland Metals.